What's up, y'all? So let's talk about some shadow work. I'm just playing, yeah. Shadow work is not what it sounds like. Shadow work is so beneficial. So we're going to talk about what shadow work is, what are the benefits, and how you actually do shadow work. We're going to jump right into it. So what is shadow work? Shadow work is basically you have to face any type of trauma that you have, any type of negative experiences that you faced that cause you to think, feel, or behave a certain way. You have to think about all of your negative traits, what you dislike about yourself. And it's really not that easy though, because when I first thought about doing shadow work, I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not really traumatized. Like my childhood wasn't really that bad, besides having to deal with grief at a young age. But if you knew my whole life story, you would have thought that, dang, you've been through a lot, so you just have to really be real with yourself, and you really have to dig deep. Deep. So what you think about all of the sort of thoughts that you may have, all of the negative feelings and behaviors, you really have to sit there and think about where did it actually come from. You may feel like it started from a year ago, and it could have, but you just have to think harder, because maybe it could have came from when you were 1 year old when something happened, so you really have to think hard about this to figure out where it really started from. This step is really important in the shadow work process. Okay, so once you figure out exactly where all of that trauma came from, then that's where you're ready to sit with your shadow self. Just know that your shadow self is a part of you, and you do have to be gentle when welcoming your shadow self. A lot of people journal and meditate. There's a few different things that you can do, which I'll discuss in a few. But just know when you do welcome your shadow self, you just sit with your shadow self, welcome it. You have to really take yourself back to that trauma, take yourself back to that day, that situation that caused you all of this pain. You really have to sit there and feel those feelings that we tried to hide for so long. It's not going to be easy for some people, but you have to face those demons and stuff. So once you sit with your shadow self and you welcome it, and you feel those feelings, and you face the issues that you had head on, and you're ready to, let it go and move on, then just acknowledge to your shadow self that you understand and that you're grateful that they tried to help you. You understand where they were coming from and why they had you think, feel, and behave a certain way, really because they was trying to protect you. Just acknowledge all of those things, but you can still talk to your shadow self I understand what you were trying to do, and I'm thankful because you did protect me. We do have a new way that we can do things, we don't have to go about it this way, and just suggest what you want to do. And that's basically how you do shadow work. You just have to face all of those demons and stuff inside of you, all of the pain, the hurt, the guilt, the feeling like you're not good enough. You have to face all of those things, but in order for you to do, you have to know exactly where it came from. Something so little can cause trauma to somebody. That's basically what you have to do, is just face all of those things and to talk to your shadow self and to welcome it and to become real close with your shadow self and move forward with it. Okay, so now what are the benefits? Where should I start? Because once you get rid of all of that baggage, that trauma, those negative thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that you had, it's you're finally free. It's you'll have so much more self-confidence. Your self-esteem will be higher, more self-love. You'll love others better, a closer relationship with yourself, your shadow self. But there's so many different benefits. I don't even know where to stop. It's not like you'll forget, or these things never happen, but you accepted it. You're able to finally move on from it. You can change the way that you react to it. Once you accept it, it doesn't have that hold on you anymore. But the benefits, you'll just be truly happy. You'll find joy. You'll bring joy to others. You can manifest whatever it is that you want in your life. Because why? Because there's nothing holding you back anymore. You're finally freaking free. You're free. So you can do whatever you want. You can become whoever you want. I don't know. There's a lot of benefits though. How do you actually do shadow work? Just follow the steps that I gave you in the beginning when I explained to you what shadow work is. There's different things that you can also do to help you. A lot of people meditate and journal. I think it's good to do both. Also, like, say if you are having a hard time figuring out what your bad traits are, you can ask someone that's close to you that you trust fully. You could just ask them, like, well, what do you see that I need to work on internally? And they might tell you certain stuff that you didn't even know about yourself. Like, they could say, like, maybe sometimes you have an attitude, or sometimes you're inconsiderate and stuff like that. So I think that if you can, it will be a good idea not do any drugs or alcohol when doing this. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, a lot of feelings will come up. And I know that drinking can sometimes increase those feelings. You know, you don't want to lash out on people or anything like that. But even if you don't do drugs or drink, it's still a good idea to tell people, let people know ahead of time, you know, I might be, you know, uneasy at times or stuff, but it's because I'm working on myself, you know, just give them a heads up. But as far as doing other drugs, it can like make it harder for you to actually feel those feelings, and you don't want to go through all of this and not really sit and feel those feelings, you know. So I think it's a good idea not to do any drugs or alcohol when doing this. So when you journal, first you can write down a list of all of the negative traits and everything that you have, or you could just write everything down together. But eventually you want to write down a list of situations, you know, that happened that, when you first had this issue or when you first experienced this trauma. But you can write down all of the negative feelings and thoughts that you have and everything like that. And a lot of them will connect to that one trauma, you know, so it'll be easier for you to take a look at it that way if you just write two lists. Once you come up with a trauma list, then you just basically tackle one, you deal with that one shadow at a time. You can meditate throughout the day, or whenever you have time to meditate. You don't really have to sit there like on the floor or anything like that. That is a good way to do it, but you can also just lay in the bed and just meditate and just keep calm and quiet. That's what you need to do in order to really think, you know, deeply think about all the things that you need to work on or where this stuff came from, and actually to visualize you meeting with your shadow self. So this Monday on January 28th, I am going to work on my shadow self again. One thing that I am going to do that I didn't do before is I am going to do a 14-day fast. I did a fast before, but not when I was doing shadow work. I'm going to do a 3-day water fast and then a 11-day fruit fast. The reason why is because I just feel like I need it, but I also feel more clear-headed and more energized when I do fast. Not only that, but I don't know if when I normally eat, if I just eat too much, or I don't know, but for some reason when I do a fast, I just feel like I have so much more time. I don't understand why. I don't know if I take a while to eat or if I just eat too much. Yeah, so if you're ready to start your shadow work journey, then why not start with me on Monday? You know, put your name in the chat. We can work with each other, help each other, answer any questions. You know, we can communicate that way. If not, if you see this video at a later time, that doesn't mean that you can't start your shadow work. You know, there's not a set date and time that you have to do this. I'm gonna go hard for 2 weeks straight when I do the fast. But shadow work could take a long time. So I'm not saying after the 2 weeks that I'm just gonna be finished with the shadow work. I just know for the 2 weeks I'm gonna go hard. Like, I'm gonna spend a lot of time with myself. I'm gonna limit the social media. I'm just gonna be focused and go hard, y'all. That's about it for this video. I am done with the video, and I hope that you succeed in whatever it is that you choose to do in life. And I'm rooting for you. Yeah, take care.